Cabinet has agreed to a comprehensive compensation review and job classification review. And the reason we are doing this is because it's been a long time since we've had a salary review, actually 2002. That project ran and was completed and implemented in 2006. So we're looking at about 19 years since we've had this type of assessment done on the terms and conditions, particularly the compensation of public officers. We know it's important, one, because market practice would usually be between 3 to 5 years that we would have this type of assessment done. Two, public officers have worked through some very challenging years. We've had changes in legislation, changes in operations. We've lived through hurricanes and now COVID-19, and public officers have remained committed. So we want to ensure that our compensation packages are competitive, that they are within market range, and we have innovative ways and different ways to compensate for the work that officers are doing. So a comprehensive review will not automatically mean a salary increase for all public officers. We may find coming out of this review, the results may reflect that some roles are actually being compensated within market value. And in other cases, there will be a need for adjustment. So it's not an automatic increase for all public officers, but what we will ensure is that we have the data and the evidence to be able to make a case where applicable. So a compensation review will take into consideration the actual jobs, the types of roles, or what we call job families, whether it's legal, technical, administrative, and it will look at what those functions are and also consider regionally and internationally what the average compensation is for those roles. It includes base salary, allowances, and other types of benefits. This review is also going to take into consideration our current pension scheme, which is not contributory, and that is also a benefit in the service. But as government has committed to do a comprehensive review on the pension scheme, which will eventually become more than likely a contributory scheme, we will also take that into consideration. Job classification is different than a job analysis, and some officers may recall we did a job analysis in 2012 to 2014. There was a comprehensive job analysis done, and that looked at every single role, every function of the role. It looked at working conditions, but the job classification is not going to look at every single role, but more so, again, the role categories. Families, just as we speak of a family, mother, father, children, roles are very similar. When we speak of administrative, whether that is considered to be an administrative officer or an assistant secretary, the classification is administrative. Whether it is legal, whether it's someone working in the Supreme Court, a judicial assistant, or someone is a parliamentary counsel, the job classification, the group of that would be legal. So we are looking at categories to determine if our compensation is on par with how other countries are paying particular job types and categories. Public officers will have a critical role in this process. From start throughout the various phases of the project until completion, we first want public officers to be well informed. The second role would be to participate in any surveys. We will have, more than likely, the company will run small groups, representative sampling of interviews or surveys, and we would also need public officers to participate so that we can have the information needed to inform the review. Additionally, the associations play a role by supporting the project and also encouraging officers' engagement, and where necessary, they too may be part of the interviews. Within the tender document, the company that is selected to conduct this review will have approximately 9 to 12 months to complete it and submit the final product. The report will initially be received by the Office of the Deputy Governor, and it will be reviewed by the project team under the responsibility of the Director of Human Resources. and we will ensure that the project report meets the scope that's set out in the terms and conditions. Thereafter, it will be presented to Cabinet for consideration and a decision. Ultimately, what we want to achieve through this exercise is to have a competitive pay system for public officers. We also want to ensure that our roles are fair and equitable in terms of the work persons are carrying out, and it matches the compensation. We also want to have some creativity added to how we reward officers and the types of allowances, and also setting out perhaps some revisions to the criteria in which persons qualify for various allowances. And the ultimate goal in all of this is to have a workforce that is engaged, that is innovative, and that really continues to work towards achieving public service excellence and transformation. In closing, I would just say first, thank you again to public officers for their commitment, for their diligence. We have demonstrated resilience. And also to know that this project is for you. We have listened to you. We use the results from the engagement survey. We understand what the concerns are as it relates to pay and benefits. And we've taken that into consideration in how we developed the scope of this project. So we ask you to continue to be informed, stay engaged, and we look forward to your continued contributions and the outcome of this project.